McBride cuts him loose. They're on their feet with 1:30 to go. Here's another shot. Down low on the ankles, and McBride walking up the body. He puts Roper down onto a hip. He's got a 2-point takedown. Puts him up by a score of 4-1. Roper settles back into the referee's position. McBride with a hold of a left elbow here. Just maintaining control. 1 minute gone here in this championship quarterfinal match. Rolled through, and here not quite enough for the back points on the tilt. McBride continues to ride near the far edge of the mat, down to 45 seconds to go in the first period. Roper making his way onto his feet. McBride drives him out of bounds, and they will reset. So these two wrestlers won their opening round match. Roper with a third period pin, and McBride a technical fall in his opening round match. McBride was one match away from placing at the state tournament last year. A win in this match would guarantee him a medal. Here's the stand-up and the escape. Score is now 4-2. McBride on top with 25 seconds to go in the first period. This is the championship quarterfinal round for the Fort Morgan Mustangs in Class 4A. They'll go through all the wrestlers who won yesterday. They wrestle first, and then we come back with the consolation side of the bracket. So Brennan McBride will wrestle a little bit later this afternoon. And Brendan Jones and Case Gibbons, they'll go back to back to back here maybe 20-30 minutes after this match wraps up. First period comes to a close. And Dylan McBride leading it by a score of 4-2. Roper defers the choice off to McBride. He wants to work from the bottom of the referee's position. So he gets settled in. Roper jumps on from the left side. McBride trying to break a wrist grip now. Tripod's up. Got his knees up off the mat. Roper hanging on from the left side. And we'll get the stalemate called from there. Just 13 seconds gone in the second period. Fort Morgan Jr. Dylan McBride, the only winner of 6 wrestlers for Fort Morgan yesterday. He's in the championship quarterfinals. Quick stand up, he earns his escape there. And he goes up 5-2. Got a hold of that single leg again and can't quite get it in control at the edge of the mat. So they'll go back to the center on their feet. Dylan McBride leading by a score of 5-2. McBride working from the side, and he had the whizzer and Roper had the seat belt. They go side by side out of bounds, and Roper got bumped in the nose. But he's going to be okay, so he'll head back into the center. They're on their feet. The shot by McBride. A caution goes for stalling. And that goes against Roper. McBride still hanging on to that single leg. Got a hold of Roper's left leg. Trips the opposite leg and earns his takedown right on the edge. Pretty good line work for Dylan McBride. That's 2 takedowns he's gotten right on the edge of the mat. Puts him up by a score of 7-2. 56 seconds left here in the second period. Roper trying to make his way onto his feet. Turns back in. He's got the whizzer, and McBride holding on that tight waist, reaches across to that far ankle and drives him back over. Maintains control. McBride riding. He leads by a score of 7-2 with 1.5 minutes to go in the second period. Roper briefly up onto his feet, now up onto his feet again. Big hard tight waist by Dylan McBride. They're near the far edge of the mat. There's a second stalling. Actually, that one goes against McBride now. McBride dropped him and tilted him over, but not long enough for the back points. Now Roper up onto his feet. McBride hangs on to the single leg, maintains control as they go out of bounds. Just 4 seconds left here in the second period. Not an escape you want to give up in the final few seconds. So McBride survives it. He's going to get cautioned. The way he jumped on, a little rough. Big roll on the whistle, and period will come to a close. So we'll head to the final 2 minutes. Dylan McBride leading by a score of 7-2. After this match is over, we are going to have a bit of a break, but maybe not that much. The first of the 285s have made their way onto the board, 2 matches out. McBride riding to start out the period, and here's a quick stand-up and escape by Roper. That makes the score 7-3. Dylan McBride on his feet. They're locked up, and Roper with an overhook drops down to an ankle, and he's going to get the takedown, pulls that ankle in, and takes Dylan McBride down. Makes the score 7-5. McBride doing absolutely nothing from the bottom. He just settles in. And Roper realizes that he can't get anything done, so he lets him go. Now here's McBride in on the shot. McBride trying to work a double leg. And Roper sprawled in, but just drives over the top of him and puts McBride down to his stomach. It's 8-5. McBride is leading. He's flat on his stomach, hanging on to the legs, and stalemate. That helps Dylan McBride. He was in trouble. So we're down under a minute to go in the match. Dylan McBride leads by 3. Now he's in a double leg takedown. Thought he had it pretty deep at the beginning. He walks up to a bear hug position, wrapped around the waist near the edge of the mat, squeezes it in, but he didn't have enough real estate to get it done. Got Dave Uhrig sitting next to me, and Dave, it looked like Dylan McBride was getting a little casual there at the end of this match.
Yeah, he's allowing the kid to close the gap on him, and there he gives up that takedown. So
makes it a 1-point match. It's 8-7. Then he gives up the escape to make it 9-7. 25 seconds left in the match, and a takedown by Roper would tie it. He's in on the single leg. McBride draped over the top. Both wrestlers have been cautioned for stalling in this match. 15 seconds left in the match. Single leg, and they're kind of side by side. The whizzer by McBride saves his life there. He had the leverage to protect himself. 10 seconds left in the match. Mustang coach is yelling at McBride, making sure he stays aggressive in these final few seconds. Here's the shot by Roper. They're side by side. And who's going to win the bear hug battle? No one. Time will expire before Roper can get McBride. McBride survived that match. An interesting one. Dylan McBride will move on. He's in the championship semifinal with a 9-7 win over Zach Roper of the Erie Tigers. So another win for McBride. He's in the semifinals.